Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we're diving deep into the turbulent waters of global events, dissecting recent developments in economics and politics. The world has been a stage of constant change, and we're here to unpack some of the most significant happenings. First up, we'll analyze a recent political debate in Germany, where prominent figures clashed over key policy issues. Then, we'll examine the ongoing energy crisis and its ripple effects across Europe, paying close attention to the strategies being employed to mitigate its impact. Lastly, we'll tackle the complexities of migration policy, a topic that continues to ignite passionate debate. But before we get started, a quick reminder. Your support means the world to us. Please consider subscribing to the channel and giving this video a thumbs up. It helps us reach a wider audience and continue bringing you insightful analysis. Also, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We love to see our community grow. And remember, stick around until the end of the video, because we'll be drawing some key conclusions about the global landscape. Now let's jump right into the first chapter, the heated debate in Germany. In the heart of Berlin, the clash of ideologies echoed through the chambers as the union's candidate for chancellor launched a scathing attack on the Alternative for Germany Party, or AfD. He branded them a right-wing radical group, leaning heavily towards right-wing extremism. While acknowledging their right to appeal to their base, he firmly asserted that their policies lie outside the realm of what Germany needs, both economically and in terms of migration. He reiterated a clear stance: no cooperation with the AfD. However, some might say that this discussion wasn't centered on the actual content, but only on blatant framing. On the other hand, the Alternative for Germany presents itself as a liberal conservative party. Their core focus areas revolve around the economy, social policy, the conflict in Ukraine, and the energy crisis. Speaking of which, even the normally composed Robert Habeck showed rare candor, admitting that Germany had fallen into the trap of relying too heavily on Putin's gas. "We are still in short supply today," he stated, emphasizing this dependence as a cardinal error that has driven up costs. A bit of advice for Moscow: they have to adjust their energy policy, which has made things more difficult. Furthermore, Olaf Scholz adopted a particularly assertive approach during the debate, frequently interrupting his counterparts when the discussion turned to migration. The chancellor defended his administration's policies, highlighting a 70% increase in deportations since he took office. However, he acknowledged that this progress is insufficient and pledged to continue intensifying efforts, citing the passage of numerous laws to facilitate deportations. Initial polls following the debate suggested that March emerged as the perceived victor, followed by Olaf Scholz. Weidel and Habeck shared third place. The global stage is constantly evolving, filled with noteworthy developments across various sectors. Before we delve into the specifics of these events, it's crucial to acknowledge the interconnectivity of international affairs. Political decisions have far-reaching consequences on economic stability, and economic trends can profoundly influence social dynamics. The current state of global events demands a thorough examination to better understand the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Moving on to the economic landscape, a key area of focus is inflation. Across many countries, inflation rates have been stubbornly high, impacting consumer spending and business investments. Central banks are grappling with the delicate task of raising interest rates to curb inflation without triggering a recession. Supply chain disruptions, exacerbated by geopolitical tensions, continue to put upward pressure on prices. The rise of automation and artificial intelligence also plays a role in the economic transformation. The war in Ukraine continues to have a profound effect on the world economy and political order. The conflict has disrupted global supply chains, especially for energy and food. This has led to increased prices and shortages, particularly in developing nations. The international community has responded with sanctions against Russia, which have further impacted the global economy. The war has also led to a significant increase in military spending by many countries, as well as a renewed focus on energy security. Shifting our attention to the United States, recent data indicates a slowing but still growing economy. The labor market remains tight, with unemployment rates at near record lows. However, concerns remain about the potential for a recession, particularly as the Federal Reserve continues to raise interest rates. The ongoing trade disputes with China also add uncertainty to the economic outlook. The political landscape in the United States is as polarized as ever, with deep divisions on issues ranging from healthcare to immigration. The upcoming midterm elections will be a crucial test for both the Democratic and Republican parties. In Asia, China's economic growth has slowed, raising concerns about its impact on the global economy. The country is facing challenges such as high debt levels and a property market slowdown. However, China remains a major driver of global growth, and its actions have significant consequences for the rest of the world. In India, the economy is growing rapidly, but the country faces challenges such as high poverty levels and inadequate infrastructure. The government is implementing reforms aimed at boosting economic growth and attracting foreign investment. The European Union is grappling with a number of challenges, including the energy crisis, high inflation, and the war in Ukraine. The bloc is working to reduce its dependence on Russian energy and diversify its sources of supply. Member states are also coordinating their economic policies to address inflation and support growth. The political landscape in Europe is also changing, with the rise of populist and nationalist parties in several countries. Throughout history, many similar patterns have emerged in times of global upheaval. The collapse of the Roman Empire, the Great Depression, and the Cold War all serve as reminders of the fragility of the international system. These historical events provide valuable lessons about the importance of international cooperation, economic stability, and peaceful conflict resolution. By studying the past, we can gain insights into how to navigate the challenges of the present and build a more secure and prosperous future. Now, before we move on, I'd like to remind you that creating content like this takes time and effort. If you're enjoying the video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us keep bringing you informative and engaging content. We also love hearing from you, so please leave a comment below telling us what topics you'd like us to cover in future videos. Let's delve deeper into the issue of migration. In recent years, migration has become an increasingly important and contentious issue. The influx of migrants into Europe has strained resources and created social tensions. Governments are struggling to manage migration flows while upholding human rights. The root causes of migration are complex and include poverty, conflict, and climate change. Addressing these issues requires a comprehensive approach that involves international cooperation and sustainable development. Examining the situation in Germany more closely, we find that the country has taken in a large number of refugees and asylum seekers. The government has implemented policies aimed at integrating these individuals into German society, but challenges remain. The debate over migration policy is highly polarized, with some arguing for stricter border controls and others advocating for a more welcoming approach. The long-term economic and social consequences of migration are still being debated. Now, let's shift our focus to the energy crisis. The sharp rise in energy prices has had a devastating impact on businesses and households across Europe. Governments have been scrambling to provide relief measures and secure alternative sources of energy. The crisis has highlighted the vulnerability of Europe's energy supply chains and the need for greater energy independence. Investments in renewable energy sources and energy efficiency are crucial for building a more sustainable and resilient energy system. One of the key factors driving the energy crisis is the reduction in natural gas supplies from Russia. This has forced European countries to seek alternative sources, such as liquefied natural gas, LNG, from the United States and other countries. However, LNG is more expensive than natural gas, which has contributed to the rise in energy prices. The transition to renewable energy sources will take time and require significant investments. In the meantime, governments must take measures to protect vulnerable households and businesses from the impact of high energy prices. Another pressing issue is climate change. Extreme weather events, such as heat waves, droughts, and floods, are becoming more frequent and severe. These events have devastating impacts on agriculture, infrastructure, and human health. Governments must take urgent action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and adapt to the impacts of climate change. The transition to a low-carbon economy will require significant investments in renewable energy, energy efficiency, and sustainable transportation. The international community is committed to limiting global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. However, current policies are not sufficient to meet this goal. The upcoming climate negotiations in Egypt will be a crucial opportunity for countries to strengthen their commitments and accelerate the transition to a low-carbon economy. Failure to address climate change will have catastrophic consequences for the planet. In conclusion, the world is facing a number of complex and interconnected challenges. The war in Ukraine, the energy crisis, high inflation, and climate change are all putting pressure on governments and societies around the world. Addressing these challenges requires international cooperation, sustainable policies, and a long-term perspective. As we wrap up today's analysis, it's clear that the global landscape is in a state of constant flux. The challenges we've discussed require innovative solutions, international cooperation, and a commitment to sustainable development. From economic policies to energy strategies and migration management, the path forward demands careful consideration and decisive action. Thank you for joining us today on our channel. We hope you found this analysis informative and insightful. Before you go, remember to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth coverage of global events. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and leave a comment below to share your thoughts on the topics we've discussed. And now, for the conclusions we promised. Firstly, the interconnectedness of global challenges is undeniable. Solutions in one area must consider their impact on others. Secondly, international cooperation is essential for addressing these challenges effectively. No single nation can solve these problems alone. Finally, a long-term perspective is crucial. Short-term fixes may provide temporary relief, but sustainable solutions require a focus on the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.